So really excited to be here today. We want to have a spotlight on docs today, BIM 360 docs, and we're going to try to answer the construction document management questions that a lot of us may have today. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. As far as a quick agenda, we're going to take you through some of the position and setup for what docs is all about, and why we're bringing a piece of technology like this to market today. And then get a little bit detailed on some of the capabilities that the offering has. And then I'm going to switch it over to my colleague Sean Butler, who's on the line with us, and he's going to go ahead and demonstrate the product for us. And as we mentioned earlier, we will have a Q&A session towards the end to wrap up the call. So with that, we'll get started. Managing change is one of the most daunting tasks, I think, that we have in the construction projects today. Beyond the drawings and models, there's a lot of information and documents that go into every construction project. Whether it's specifications, submittals, plans, or models, the amount of items to track can overwhelm even the most organized individual. Couple these things with the fact that errors and omissions and version control are the primary reasons for project schedules and cost overruns. It becomes virtually impossible to keep your documents and information under control. There's a lot of disruption in our daily project activities, with new cloud-based apps arriving on the scene seemingly every week, the use of mobile hardware like tablets and smartphones on the rise, and the fact that our industry is moving towards 3D all contribute to the opportunity for less efficient workflows being used and an increase in project risk around cost and schedule overruns. The good news is that these disruptive trends do create a unique opportunity for you and your company to adopt a new class of technology in the field. The bad news is that a lot of these disruptive technologies create all new challenges in themselves. There are now hundreds of new startups in the construction space alone, with many of them just coming out in the last 6 months, as well as many established vendors, all of whom are vying for opportunities in the construction space. While there are benefits to each of these pieces of new technologies and apps, two significant problems can occur with the adoption of this technology. Point solutions that solve one specific challenge create issues with disconnected and siloed workflows. That creates overlapping workflows and islands of functionality and process, and that becomes very difficult to manage. All this creates a very challenging environment. We at Autodesk and at Applied Software see many companies today burdened with these challenges. They have too many point products deployed in the field that overlap in function and create a disconnection between the project stakeholders, which creates a loss of information. Here we can see how information is lost at every phase of the plan, design, build, and operate lifecycle. The information from construction to operations is seen as the most valuable because of the importance the facility information is in the operations of the building, which is, of course, 85% of the total lifetime cost of that building. A recent NIST study showed that personnel spend over $4.8 billion a year verifying that documentation accurately represented existing conditions, and another $613 million a year transferring that information into a useful format. It becomes obvious when seen in this light that the manual input and management of information creates rework and process breaks occur, which create opportunities for errors and omissions. And we can all agree these lead to increased risk for both our cost and our schedules. We here at Autodesk think that there is a better way. First off, I want to make you aware of the fact that Autodesk has been a technology provider in the construction industry and was one of the first to make the commitment to the cloud. In 2012, the Autodesk CEO, Carl Bass, announced our intent to fully invest in that cloud. That investment has translated into a completely retooled development organization by adding hundreds of skilled development staff that focused on building an architecture for success in the cloud. We'll discuss the details of how this investment is important for you in a moment, but quickly at a high level, it is to say that we've built the foundation needed to make it easy and scalable for our customers to succeed with technology in the field. Autodesk also recognizes that and reorganized so that we can invest in the people and expertise needed to have 100% focus on the construction industry. We require talent and are building dedicated teams and have built dedicated teams with professionals right from the industry. These folks eat, sleep, and breathe construction every day. People, technology, and focus isn't enough, though. We need to keep learning, too. We have partnered with many of the professional organizations that you may be members in today to ensure that we are connecting with the construction teams to engage with them where they are, either in the field or at professional events. Partnerships with both the AGC and ABC are enabling connections at the national and local level through industry presentations, shared learnings, and event sponsorships. I ask you all to check your local chapters to learn more today. Having key partnerships isn't enough, though. We need to get out with you and see how you work on a daily basis. To that end, we have our BuildX tour, where we are taking food trucks to your local construction sites, feeding your personnel some great meals on us, and using the opportunity to discuss and learn about the ways you are working today and the challenges you have. All that still wasn't enough, though. You know and understand that today, time to market is crucial, and we needed to get the workflows and the technologies that support them to market quickly for our customers. This is where, in a situation like this, you either build it or you buy it, and we did both. So let me show you what we've been up to. We heard loud and clear that coordination was an important part of the construction business. So we began by taking several key acquisitions, Revit, Navisworks, and Horizontal Glue, and creating purpose-built capabilities and workflows for coordination that are proven in the industry today using all three working together. Then we knew that there were issues and challenges in the field that technology could meet. We acquired and built Vela as the leader in the industry today, now known as BIM 360 Field, around field management. We also acquired Get the Point to integrate fabrication and pre-construction with the layout process. And we brought in a company and their technology to address the crucial planning phases as you move from pre-construction to execution. And after all that, we built a tight connection with the owner with a mobile-first, cloud-based operations offering. If we left it there, we wouldn't be any different than the other point solutions we discussed earlier. But that's not our vision. We know you don't want to be burdened with managing apps. You want to focus on building buildings and managing projects. So let me show you where we are going and how it all comes together. The Autodesk vision that is being delivered today is to provide a scalable, interoperable, and connected platform for all your construction lifecycle needs. We start with industry-leading capabilities and proven workflows in pre-construction, and then extend the valuable information from planning out into the field for use in execution and performance on the job site. Pre-construction coordination is valuable to the process today. You know these workflows and the Autodesk tools used for them. As we move through the planning and into the field, Autodesk solves your change management issues with a suite of offerings purpose-built for the execution phases of your projects. All of this is grounded in BIM 360 Docs, which is the foundation for the entire platform. But it doesn't stop there. What's unique about our offering is that you can scale your investment as needs expand. We see a lot of customers in the construction industry struggling to use their view markup issue point solutions to truly manage the change on their job sites, but Docs is now the foundation for change management they and you need. Let me tell you what differentiates Docs in the industry today. We believe that you need version control with any view, markup, and issue product that can be brought out into the field to automate the drawing and markup distribution. We also believe that you need to manage the versioning and the change process for all your 2D documentation, but also need a way that makes it easy and makes it as easy as possible for you to use and adopt 3D models as appropriate. Autodesk BIM 360 Docs brings it all together, working with a version control platform for both 2D and 3D in the same simple and easy to use system, And let me remind you that it's all part of that scalable platform that will grow with your needs and your business. No one does 2D, 3D, and cloud better than Autodesk. It's what we know and what we're known for. Let us bring proven technology and experience and workflows to your project today. So let's take a moment to just get a little bit more detailed around what Docs is all about. Docs offers a host of capabilities around 4 key areas of document management. It's the publishing, the sharing, the viewing, and the modifying. Docs aids us in the publishing of documents by automating common and repeatable tasks that occur throughout a project. The automation of extracting sheets from AutoCAD plans and drawings, as well as Revit models. The object character recognition of title blocks to automate the naming process when working with PDFs and other documents. Merging and separating of PDF sheets, as well as using a logical organization of information that is specific to how we work in construction. When it comes to sharing, the documents, sorry, I had to cough there. The right people have the right access to information through our sharing capabilities. We present the information in a logical format, aligning with construction project phases and sets, including % complete phases. We're also able to track and maintain versions to allow quick navigation between those versions and help you identify changes or roll back to an earlier point in time as needed. Control for the release of information to the field through permissions and access is also built in, and that also gives you the flexibility to assign permissions at a user, a role, or a company level. Docs aids in the viewing of documents by offering powerful, fast viewing of 2D plans, 3D models, and other file types in a single viewer. Autodesk's viewing technology provides quick navigation between 2D and 3D documents in a single, easy-to-use and navigate interface, optimized for viewing on mobile devices. Logical list, thumbnail, and folder views make it easy to find the document you need, and you can access those documents either on the web or through iPhone and iPad interfaces that include offline sync for use in the field when web access is not available. Lastly, view object properties from 3D models as well as object properties from drawings. Docs aids with the markup of documents by providing collaborative viewing, markup, and issue management. We have 2D and 3D markup tools, including thumbnail views of all markups for quick review and approval. We can assign project issues in context to project members in the field, and we can provide visibility into the whole project issues with reports and dashboards. By centralizing all that document information into a single cloud-based app, your entire project team will be working from the latest documents, plans, and models all the time. And when project teams have the right information at the right time, work happens faster, risks are lowered, and errors are eliminated. This quote-unquote single source of truth is the first of 3 important differentiators that BIM 360 Docs brings to the industry. With that single source of truth, you gain the ability to clearly convey the story of what happens during a construction project. Without it, project teams often struggle with the question of, are you working with the most current drawings and specs? Too often, that answer depends on who you ask. As an example, the architect's idea of what is current is whatever they published most recently. The permitting agency idea of what is current is whatever they've approved most recently. The owner's idea of what is most current is whatever they've authorized for pricing, and the contractor's idea of what is most current is whatever they've been authorized to build. It's rare that all these groups are referring to the same versions of documents. BIM 360 Docs puts everyone on the same page. The second differentiator with BIM 360 Docs is the ability to keep the office and the field in sync, addressing challenges of collecting, coordinating, and communicating changes and versions. During a project, data is shared, modified, and shared again multiple times by design teams and contractors. Often by the time construction teams are ready to offer pricing, Data has been shared up to almost 12 times. Versions are created for every version there can be, in every version there can be thousands of sheets. So version control is extremely important, particularly to protect against litigation. To keep versions up to date and move the project along, input is gathered and coordinated through every project team member. Giving anytime, anywhere access to documents and the tools to create and assemble markups tightly controlled through permissions helps to streamline this entire process. The third primary differentiator is that BIM 360 Docs is an integrated version control platform that is purpose-built for construction projects and construction project teams. So unlike many of the document management collaboration applications out there, Docs is built specifically for us in the construction industry and to support the entire project team from design through handover. With Docs, the project is at the center, keeping everyone involved, always connected, current, and in control. So as a review, it supports that 2D and 3D or combined workflows. It has specific functionality and controls for contact publishers, editors, and consumers. Offers a powerful version control and permissions to control access. And is a single repository throughout that entire construction process. So with that, that is hopefully a pretty good overview of where Docs is positioned and some of the benefits and capabilities it has. I'd like to turn it over to Sean. So Sean, if you're on, go ahead and come off mute and go ahead and take over the presentation.
All right, thank you, Anthony.
Great.
Give me a second to get my screen shared. Let me know when that is visible.
I see it on my end.
Excellent. All right, everyone. Well, now that you've heard about it, let me show you what it does. BIM 360 Docs is a web application. If you go to any of our BIM 360 applications, you know that they're easily accessed by just going to a easy URL, in this case, our BIM 360 Docs. And you can go there, and when you come in, you're going to come into a blank project. And I've opened up a couple of projects, so when we're uploading some things, I can keep moving. But everything that's here, you'll be able to do right after we get off this call. And so when you come into BIM 360 Docs and you're assigned to a project, you're immediately going to see your project name right at the top. And within this drop-down, there'll be any project which you have access to. And so really important in that project control, well, you can control what you see, when you see it, and who sees it, which is really important because you want to make sure that you know who's seeing what. The other thing about it is you're able to come into our project file area here and create any folder structure that you want, whether it's all by word folder structure, whether it's numbers and words. However you do it, you can come in and very easily, just by clicking and saying add subfolder, you can come in and you can add a subfolder, and then you can name that subfolder anything that you want. And so that name will come in, and once again, that can be alpha or alphanumeric. Once you have that set up and you have everything in place, loading documents is simply a matter of right mouse clicking either on the file or clicking on upload. So getting information into BIM 360 Docs is very easy. One of the most important things about the system is that when we come into any project, we can instantly come into that folder settings, and now you can start to add users. You can add users either by their role, by their company, by their individual names, or by their email address. And when we load those users in, they're going to come in, and you're instantly going to see that you can now set their permissions, and you can place the permissions on the user that you want them to have. And this is really important, very visual, so no way to make a mistake. And so right off the bat, we're going to come in, and as you can see here, I'm the project admin, so I have full control of this. But everybody that I've added at the project level, they come in and they simply have this publish view, which is that base view. And it basically says, I'm going to allow you to add files or folders to this project or to this specific folder. But as we come down, I can then start to get very granular. So for our design and for our construction documents, I have our construction team, and now I can say, all right, I have specific people that are on this job, and I want them to be able to do specific things within this area. And that's where now I can come in and I can start to just slide over and add the permissions that I want that person to have. So if we look here at those permissions, and if you see these that look this reddish orange is that basic publish. The next one that you see here is this more orange to this burnt orange, and that's our publish and view, and that allows users to view files that are contained in the project or in this folder. So now here they can see the files and they can add to it. Next one is this yellow one, and now this person can publish, view, and edit. So this edit feature now allows them to modify the files that are contained in this specific folder in this area, and they can add markups, and so now they can start to interact with the file. And then we go to the green, and that green would be that control, and this has two special features. One, obviously, it gives this person the ability to go in and change settings and permissions in that folder. But it also has a special feature in that this will also allow a company user. So if I have a construction company that's on this job, and I give, in this case, if we look here, if I was to give this person, David Sanchez, this control feature, he's also able to add or take away people from his company and his company only. So what this means is whoever your company representative is, they can very easily add and take away users. They don't have to call somebody else, so as people come and go from the project, they can manage them very easily. So the user interface is very easy. Everything is very easy to see. It's all a matter of just clicking, and once you click on it, you've placed it in, it's now set. You can very easily come back and just say reset, and we can put them right back to where they were. So a lot on permissions, but it's very important because everybody's concerned that their data's safe. Now, once we've done that, we now have our users added. So we've added people in. We've now given them permissions. Now we can start to go through and use some of the special features. So if we look at this folder up top called our plans folder, this folder will allow you to take an entire Revit model and load that Revit model in. And I've done these for you this morning so you can see what will happen the first time that you've loaded them in. So the first time you come in, there would be a version 1 of this drawing. And so we would see that version 1, it's here, it's the site plan. Well, if you now update that, the next load and dropping in your project here, we're now going to see that this file's been updated and you're going to have a version 2. Now the special feature about this folder is that when I came in to actually upload this, I didn't come through and just upload each individual drawing. I actually came in and selected an entire Revit model. And so I can come in and I can select my complete composite Revit model, and when I load that model in, it's going to tell me what model it is. It's going to notify me when all of the individual sheets from this model have been extracted and placed into this plan view. So what we're doing for you is we're going into that Revit model, and the sheet sets that you have set up, we are going to bring those sheets in, and we're going to break those sheets out for you. So I'm going to let this run as we continue to talk. You're going to find out that very powerful and very lightweight when it's loading up big models. So we're uploading everything here, each individual sheet, and we're also going to give you that 3D view that's going to come in with that. And so while that's uploading, we'll take a look at this 3D view. And so if you know our large model viewer, we're going to come in, we're going to bring you that whole model in detail. And so a lot of power here, very lightweight, zooming in and out. But what we're also going to do from Revit is we're going to extract information from that Revit file. So as I click on anything in here, I can also come through and look at all of the properties of that feature. So in this case, we're looking at this piece of wall and roof, and I'm going to get all of the properties that have come over from Revit. Side note, we also do this with Navisworks files. So if a Navisworks file is in here, we could do the same exact thing. So good part is we're bringing information over for you. So once this information is in here, very easy to come in and start to extract data that a contractor wants. Also from this area, we're going to do some things, and if you look over here to the left pane, this currently is closed. You can see that we have a triangle, we have the markup notice, and we also have the versioning. So if we were to go through here with markups, we can come through and in real time, we can do 3D markups and of course 2D markups. The markup engine is the one that we've had and you know, love, and use. Come in, very simple and easy to use. So come through, make your markups the same way. Come in, grab your arrows, and put your arrow in. And let me cancel that and do that again. Sorry about that. We'll come in, put that markup in there, put our arrow down in there, and put our text in all the same way that you know and all that you've seen and you know that we do very, very well. Come in, we'll now save that markup. Markups can be open or markups can be closed. So we've notified somebody of something that's here. It's come in. We can start to talk about what that issue is. And if this markup has been resolved, if we've gone through and said it's okay, well, we can come in and we can also close that markup. So once again, your team can now come in and start to talk about these things and see them there. You can add as many markups that you want across these. So that's one of the nice features. I'm going to move over to one other drawing where I have some issues that have already been set up. And so one of the other features that you'll see when you come across our drawings is that we have two views. We have this thumbnail view. We also have the plain sheet view or that detailed list view where you would go through and see things. Well, within this icon view where you can see them, you'll start to see that we start to show you information. So looking at this 3D area here, we can see that there's a triangle, which means this has an issue, and there's a markup. So right in front of you when you come into the plans area, you'll instantly get information and feedback. So now you know if you come in and look at this, we can click on this, and if we come over to our issues, we're going to see that there is an issue with this. And so when that issue opens, that's going to tell us what the issue is and what the status of that issue is. And I apologize, I'm not sure why that's not opening. I'll grab another issue and see if I can get that one to open for you. Let's preview this one. All right, I'm not sure why that's not opening. I'll come back to it on my other set and see. But within those issues will show you the status. And so from your iPad, because BIM 360 Docs is also iPad enabled, you can be in the field as contractors are. You can find an issue within that field on your iPad, create the issue, create that markup, and then when you sync back into the system, that issue will then show up and all of the team on the inside will now be able to see that issue, or other people on their iPads will be able to see it, and they'll be able to go through and start to talk about those issues. So a very powerful section of screen here. We also have this area within here, and this is our shop drawing area. Same powerful function as that plan folder, where this is going to go in and this is going to extract out any multiple PDF documents. So if I have a PDF document, 100 PDFs in it, and I have a single document and I bring it in, I'm going to take that and it is going to extract out each one of those PDFs for me. So multi-page PDF, upload it, and I'm going to bring it in. And now for our shop drawings, we're able to come to this area and start to have that same construction discussion on it. We can come in and once again, you're going to see all of the icons if there was an issue or if there's a markup on it. And so when you come in, same idea, we're going to open that up. And with that PDF, we're going to bring that PDF in. We're going to see the markups that were on there. And we're also going to have that same management of those markups. And so this markup's been resolved. And so we can close that out. And we're going to give you a notice about closing them. Once they're closed, they don't reopen. So we'll mark that as closed. And now we know that this has been taken care of. So powerful functionality that sits within the within these special folders that are at the top. Now some other things that we can do here. I'm going to come over to our plans folder. And as that opens up, we can come in to this plans folder and we can also create a very special feature, and this is the ability to bring in title blocks. And so we can now come in and we can OCR your title block as a template. So when you add future documents in, you can now OCR and apply that OCR'd template to the new document. So you can start to manage your title blocks. And very easy feature. We're going to come in. We're going to name this. We're going to go in and we're going to say what the size of this title block is. Within that feature, we're going to come in. We're now going to select that title block. And so this is going to go through and it's going to look through that entire plans folder. And so when it goes through each one of them, we're going to have our sheet come up. We can select a sheet. We can go through and so we can see everything is there. And once we open that sheet up, we can now zoom into this title block area. And so once we get zoomed in on there, we can now very easily come through and create the OCR of that title block area. It's going to go in and now it's going to allow me to do what we need. I want to add in the sheet number so I can go in and I can select that sheet number. I want to add the title block. I want to actually add the name of it. I can go in and add that name. And so this is going to bring it in. Now, a lot of your companies, they want to go through and they want to add more information because maybe there's an internal tracking number. Maybe you want to know who drew this. So you can go in and you can also add in additional fields. And so within those additional fields, we allow you to add in additional attributes so you can go through and start to name these things. So if you have an internal tracking number, if you have more information that you want to place onto these, you can place those in there. So in this case, we wanted to know who this was actually drawn by. We can go in and then we can select whoever that author is for that. We can save that out, and once that saves out, you now have that template. So now the next time that I come in and I actually add in an entire set of PDFs, or entire set of documents, I can apply that template to the title block. It will read it out, and it will allow me to manage all of those title blocks. So we were talking about those attributes that we actually add in there. Let me refresh the screen. With those attributes, once again, easy setup to go through. And within our document view, when we look at our detailed view, here's those attributes that we were talking about. So you can come in and simply by using the plus, we can go through, and now you can start to add custom attributes. You could turn those on or off simply by clicking at them. So it's, again, this is something that you can load in, come in, set those up to the title blocks for your project, and now you have that information stored. And adding the attributes are easy. We can come in, we have it here. And once again, now this is going to be something that you have in your company. And then you can come down and you can decide whether this is going to be a text field, a date pick, or a drop-down list. And if it's a drop-down list, you can come through and you can add your values. So yes, no, we can go through and do each one of those things. And so now you start to have all of these pieces that you want for your individual drawings. So now they're in here so you can know what's actually going on with your drawings. And you can actually manage those. Powerful piece to this is you're loading these up. We're going to do all the revisioning. So all the revisioning that happens here, as you can see, this is version 2. You say, but you know what? I need to see that other version of it. Not a problem. Click and make it current. We're going to do that. It's now going to bring that back to that version 1 documentation. So powerful tools that sit in front of you. Also within this, we also do full color. And so if you were looking at something and just somebody had asked this question, I wanted to make sure that everyone knew this. If your PDFs are in full color, we're going to bring those in crisp and clear. So all of that, all the color legends and everything you have fully visible and right in front of you. All right, let me slide on through here. We're going to go through one other piece here with you, and that's going to be the power of the 3D viewer. And so with that 3D viewer, some other features that are in there that very important is you can come through and set up sections on your drawings. So you have your model came in, that's that 3D view. We can come through and we can start to go through and section that off any way that you want. So once again, the tools that you know that we have, you can come in and pick that section and start to move that around and really do anything that you want with it. So powerful tools that are sitting within that orbit view, and then you can also go through and start to look at the individual pieces within this. So I can go through and say, you know what, I want to see these particular walls, and we're going to go through and we're going to start to show those things, and as we bring them in, of course, we're going to set everything else to the back, and then we're going to bring that one feature out front. So a lot of powerful tools for you to go in and start to interrogate, go through your models, look at the features, and see things that are there. So as I said, you can go right online right now. You can sign up for your trial. And with that trial, you'll have all of these features. You want to grab your iPad, download the iPad app, and start to go through and enjoy BIM 360 Docs and the features and the benefits that you can have with your company, being able to manage and communicate their construction documents in one place, and we're doing all the heavy lifting for you. With that, I'll turn it back over to Anthony.
Great, I appreciate it, Sean. Thanks so much for jumping through there. If you could just make me a presenter again, I'll go ahead and share out the last couple slides here. All right, I'll go ahead and got it here now. Thank you. All right, so I think the first thing we want to do is just summarize everything that you've seen so far. Appreciate everybody sticking with us here. So the first thing is, as we come into, we talked about, early on that the industry and your projects today are being disrupted with field technology and how that enables an opportunity today to manage change more effectively. We also discussed how, excuse me, also discussed how the point solutions that many companies like yours might be using have created some more challenges than for you managing that flow of information in the field. We covered how the Autodesk offering fills that need with a scalable platform for managing documents and information, and is providing that platform for you to grow with your business and technology adoption. And that's whether it's a 2D all the way up to 3D based model workflows, or from the office out to the field. Lastly, we discussed how the use of unmanaged view markup issue products can lead to significant challenges on your projects. That's going to reduce profit and increase schedules, and that the Autodesk BIM 360 Docs offering delivers an integrated version control platform to meet and overcome those challenges to help you deliver on time and, of course, under budget. So from here, what do we do next? I think the big thing is we have the ability to get out there and get started today. BIM 360 Docs is offered at a couple different levels. We had some questions in there about pricing. I'll cover it all very simply. First thing is there's a 30-day trial that you can go get started and sign up for today. The folks here from Applied Software will be following up with you with a link to do that. The next thing is from a pricing perspective, the first level is pretty easy. It's free. BIM 360 Docs has a free tier. So when you get in there with your trial, start using it today, your risk is very low in that you can continue to use the product even after your evaluation period has come up. There is then a paid version, and that'll get you more capabilities over the free version. Those capabilities will allow you to do a lot more with the document management, with the issue tracking, those type of things. That paid tier is at a price, it's a project-based price. It's $249 per month per project, or if you sum that up to the year, it's just a tick under $3,000 a year. So really low cost offering compared to some of the other things that you may have for costs on your project, and it can align to that project. When you do sign up for that trial, there will be an Autodesk Success Manager that reaches out to you, whether it's via the phone or via the web, to ensure your success in getting started quickly and a quick start there. And then, of course, myself and the rest of the Applied Software team are here to ensure your success as well. So with that, we're going to maybe take a moment here to answer any questions. So Elisa or Sean, anything in the Q&A panel that we want to cover here live?
Yes, actually. Thanks, Anthony. That's a really great presentation. And Sean, we really appreciated the demo. Helped it to crystallize for us. During the demo, we had a couple questions come up. One is, when you're uploading a model as you did in the demo, can we designate which sheets that we want uploaded? For example, just uploading the construction document package drawings and not the schematic design or the design development drawings?
I'll take that one.
Yep, go ahead.
Not right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There is a workaround that does work, but you cannot do that default right now.
Okay, thank you.
So he also added that another example would be different projects in one model for different areas of a building. Same answer?
Yeah, same answer. I think that situation there is where you can use the power of the Revit model and being able to link information in. So the workflow there would be create a model where you link in your primary model that has multiple projects in it. And then in that version is the one you would create just the CDs or the schematics or whatever it may be, so that when it's time to upload, it has the sheets in there that you need and it extracts those for you.
Exactly.
Yep, very good.
Okay, great. Another question was about hyperlinks. Where is the hyperlinking function? Without it, navigating through a set of plans would be very cumbersome when compared to something like Bluebeam.
Great. Yep. Yeah, so we recognize that that is something that you didn't see today, and it's on our almost immediate roadmap here. So within several weeks, we're doing a release every 2 weeks, or really it's twice a month with BIM 360 Docs, and that is one of the ones that's imminent with one of the next release, is the ability to have the hyperlinking work when you have, call-out sheets or whatever it may be. So definitely a bit of a gap here today as we stand, but something that's going to be addressed very shortly, even within a 30-day trial period if you start today.
Okay, great. When you upload a file with different sheets, how does it pull the title from each sheet? Or do we have to go in and rename the sheets?
No, it extracts the title from the sheet as the sheet is. So if you've named that sheet, that is the name that we are going to pull.
That's where the benefit of being integrated with the Autodesk software comes in, and that it can read all that metadata that's part of the drawing or part of the Revit model. So it's grabbing that stuff for us automatically. And then in the world where you have PDFs, that's that object character recognition with title block workflow that Sean showed earlier. Great. Anything else, Elisa?
Sorry, my mute did not unmute me. On iPads, will the Docs app export 3D models into Glue and where we can measure, etc.? Or will the interface be internal in Docs itself?
All right, a couple things in there. The integration with Glue is something that is on the roadmap for us, so that Docs becomes the repository for file storage for Glue. So that's something that is coming for us. That specific feature in there around measurement is something that I think will just get fleshed out in the Docs side. I don't have an idea, unless you do, Sean, on whether we'll see that anytime soon. So you can still use the two different apps side by side as far as getting that model into Glue. That's something you would set up either by downloading it onto the local iPad and then getting it open in Glue, or you'd set it up back at the home office where somebody's got that model published for you into Glue as well as into Docs. So you could get that additional functionality there. Anything else to add to that, Sean?
No, that would be what we would do now.
Okay, good.
Okay, also during the demo, OCR didn't get that title block extraction right. How do you correct that if that happens?
You can go right in and edit that. I saw that after I looked back that second time, it misspelled the word author. So when you grab that window, you'd simply click on that window and you would put in that person's name, or you just retype author correctly.
Yeah.
And that was because I was too small over the word author. It just didn't go down far enough.
Yeah, and I think that's the opportunity. We have this idea of a publish log. So before you hit the go button and it gets out to everybody, you can audit what it did from an OCR perspective. And so it allows you to go through and do some QA on it as the publisher, make some adjustments as needed, and then hit the go button. And then it makes those changes for you on every sheet, and then you publish it out.
And with revisions, the next time you log in, does it go back to the current or does it stay on the one that you just corrected?
Sorry, I missed the beginning of the question.
The question was, the next time you log in, does the revisions go back to the current or does it stay on the one that we just made correct?
It always stays on the version that you left there.
Right.
Okay.
It's the idea of, what is the current version? So as a publishing tool, there's someone who's published that version. If you're working on that version, that's that is the most current one. If somebody published again while you logged off and now you log back in, there will be a new version there. If you're doing markups or any issue tracking on, let's say you're on version 4, you logged out, somebody uploaded a new version and has version 5 out there, your markups and your issues will carry forward automatically to every version that gets published until you explicitly either close out that markup or close out that issue. Then it's milestoned on that version you did the closeout on.
Okay, great. If you change the version making older, this actually it's not really it's a little typo here, the current, and leave what version does the next user see?
Yeah, it's whatever one you're denoting as current. So if for some reason somebody published and it was the improper version that is current, you can roll back whatever one you're rolling back to, and you say make current, that is now the latest version. Is that correct, Sean?
That is correct.
Good.
Can we create issues in the web app or just markups?
So currently, issues are created from the iPad and are synced to the web app. And within the web app, you can see all of those issues and manage through them, and you can create markups also on the web app. So right now, issues iPad and issues are seen and managed on the website.
Okay, great. Automatic upload of sheets in Revit, is it possible now? Does this also apply for AutoCAD sheets and tabs? And just to further add, as it stands now, we have many viewers, Navis, Glue, Docs, etc. Any chance these will combine into one viewer?
Right. Okay, so kind of a two-part question.
Yes.
The first one, automatic upload from within the design authoring app, not there yet. That is a roadmap feature where you'll have a button sitting inside of a Revit or an AutoCAD-based application to say publish to Docs. So now it's an implicit of saying, here's my file, let's go ahead and upload that and let Docs do the automatic extraction. The second piece there, as far as viewers coming together, I mentioned early on about the investments Autodesk is making in the cloud architecture. That is where we're going. The idea behind having this consistent company-based architecture is that there's an infrastructure base, there's a platform base, and then there's a software base that can be used by all. So yes, I don't have a good idea of timing, but when it comes to viewing technology, it will all be consolidating to what you're seeing in Docs today. Internally, we call it the large model viewer, but it does much more than just that. A360 uses it today. Docs uses it. Some of the other viewing technologies, when it comes to mobile and cloud, will all use that same application.
That's great. Now, one last question. If we're just in 2D workflow today, can we still use Docs?
Of course, yes. That's where we want to make sure that everybody understands that this is tailor-built for what we need in the document management world and construction, which is, of course, everything 2D. What's nice about it is you get 3D for free, if you will. When you're ready and you need to consume a model, whether it's coming from the Revit world or other places, Docs has that capability sitting there ready, waiting for you. So that's really that prime example of where I mentioned earlier of a platform you can work on today and build and to be able to grow. So as a mandate comes through for the next project that maybe requires a model-based workflow, or as you're working with an architect or engineer that wants to provide a model as well as the sheets with it, you have that ability there. It's no more of a learning curve. It's the same workflow you would have used for 2D.
And I was directly emailed a question, which was interesting. They said, Sean, can we put other documents into Docs? I actually know who sent this to me. I'm guessing they were on the call. And I did not mention that directly. But yes, also remember that this is a complete document repository. So within your folder structure, your permits, all of your submittals, any other document that you would want to have in the field in one place where everybody knew this is the current document and the current version of it, that also can be loaded up into BIM 360 Docs.